Hello, everybody. I'm Madame Sensei. I teach Spanish, French, and Japanese to high schoolers out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, and I am thinking my way through the Harvard Project Zero thinking routines, almost at the end of them. I can be reached at studio-nemo.com, or the Minecraft Education Ambassadors, or the Minecraft Teachers Lounge, or the Duolingo Educators Network if you want to help me think about this. We are in what's going to turn out to be the final category of the Harvard Project Zero Thinking Routines, exploring art, images, and objects, and we are on the Elaboration game. And again, this is located right here, and the link will be in the description. This is a routine for encouraging close looking. I think they didn't hyphen, that's why my document underlined it. So I like to do this as a blind men and the elephant sort of thing. So I divide my class into table groups, and I give each table group a section of a famous painting, but not the whole thing. And then I reveal the entire picture slowly as the class discusses it. And generally I choose a picture that's really famous when they put it all together and they're like, oh, I recognize that. But when they see a little piece of it, somehow they can't put the big picture together. So like this was one I had a lot of fun with. I handed the pictures to students like this, like one table group got it like this, and I didn't say anything. And this is actually supposed to be, let me turn it like this. It's actually supposed to be sideways like this, but I handed it like this. And of course, everyone thought this was a standing up guy, you know. Maybe by turning it, you could tell immediately what it was. Okay, another table group got this, and another table group got this, and another table group got this. And yes, you probably figured it out by now. This is La Liberté aux Barricades, or sometimes called La Liberté guidant le peuple. And it was just really interesting to hear them talk to each other about what they had. They couldn't show each other the pictures, but the table had to describe. There's a flag. There's a man standing. That was really funny. But they were able to identify the period pretty well. So don't forget, since this routine can use paintings and sculptures, that means it can also use actual realia. Okay. Are there cooking tools that you want to describe? Here's my crepe spreader that I often pull out. Some of my students have to describe it. My hanten. I like to have the students describe that because they see me wearing it all the time. Anything at all that you want your students to look at in detail. This also works great on music. You can have students describe the tempo, teach them the words that they need for the tempo. Fast and slow, the emotion of the music, sad, happy, angry, the pitch, the timbre, low, high, tinny, full, the impressions that the students have as they listen to the music, or the instruments that they hear. Now, we have a really robust band program. Students love learning the names of their instruments. They really want to be able to describe the band, so capitalize on that. We got a big choir. The students love hearing about how vocal techniques are different in Japan. You're allowed to use a glottal stop in music. It's considered okay because that's the only way to get that little small too. But in English, you would never use a glottal stop. That sounds sloppy and amateur. Voiceless vowels in French vocal technique get to be pronounced so that you get the right syllable count. You could talk about how the mambo evolved for your Spanish classes. There's just so much you can do with this routine. So when you're teaching grammar explicitly, you've got some pop-up grammar going on, the grammar translation method, audiolingual method, and you're looking at transformation drills, community language learning, and you're dissecting a script your class wrote, or you're working straight out of your textbook. As usual, as always, you need to predict all the myriad things that your students are going to want to talk about and be ready to add more to the word bank. The more you can predict up front, the better off you'll be, but you can always do this on the fly too. Just make sure to have a living word bank so that as your students ask you in the target language, you can add to it. When teaching literature, culture, history, arts, music, you're looking at a recipe. So in the Harvard Project Zero Thinking Routine, it says any kind of visual art that stays still in time. I have no idea why it has to stay still in time. Talked about music. Music doesn't stay still in time. Why can't we show a 15-second clip of walking down the street? This is City Guesser. I love City Guesser. There's Google Streets also. Just put a clip on infinite repeat. Just, short little segment of it so the students can keep referencing it over and over. And I love doing this. I mean, how much more real can you get? I can't get my students on a plane. I can't buy them tickets. I can't get them to any of the 3 target cultures that I teach. I can't even drive up to Canada with my students, So this is like the next best thing. This in Minecraft education. In our next episode, listening 10 times 2. Hope to see you there.